Welcome in, guys. It's Brad with College SportsCast. We're here for another loaded episode of Wildcat Weekly. We've got some wins to talk about. We got some not so good news with Jalen Lowe. Let's go.
Thank you for tuning in to College SportsCast. College SportsCast presents Wildcat Weekly.
Welcome in, guys. It's Brad with College SportsCast. I've had a busy weekend. Been in Lexington back and forth twice. What's up, John?
What's going on, man?
It has been a busy few days. But a good few days, but a busy few days at that. John, I think we're going to start out. Well, first, let me get to the Facebook. If you're with us on Facebook, we appreciate you, man. We are growing. We're getting closer and closer to that 8,000 mark on our Facebook group, and we appreciate that. But hit that subscribe button on our Facebook, man. It's only 99 cents. We're not asking for much, just 99 cents from you guys a month. I mean, it's pretty much next to nothing, but it does help us out. Every little bit helps. So hit that subscribe. It gives you your own subscribers page and a chat, and we're in the chat all the time. Through these updates with the portal and all the stuff, John and I have been in there constantly trying to give updates, so it is something good. And hit that subscribe button. All right, if you're on YouTube, I mentioned YouTube for a while, but if you're on YouTube, we appreciate you as well. It's always nice to have people on both platforms, also on the Real Fresh channel on YouTube as well. So hit those like and subscribe buttons. All right, John, we have got some news to talk about here. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, let me get to it here. All right, tonight on Pope's call-in show, which was just a little, maybe an hour and a half ago, something like that.
You missed Remember of the Year.
Do what?
You got it. Is we'll miss Remember of the Year.
Oh, well, it's supposed to say remainder.
Oh, I was just kind of,
Well, it probably changed it on its own, probably.
I was trying to point it out a little bit. So, but while he's doing that, I'll just go ahead and talk a little bit about it. It's unfortunate. This is his third dislocated shoulder, Brad. The last one coming against Mississippi State. He played 3 minutes. Now, he did have 21 points, I think, in the loss to Alabama. He was an important role for Kentucky. He only played in 9 games this year. He averages 8 points a game, 2 assists, I think, 2 rebounds. Now, he is expected to apply for a medical red shirt, which will give him eligibility for another year. So hopefully that will go through. Like I said, Brad, it's been unfortunate. Every time it seems like he gets on the court, he kind of goes right back off. He gets on the court, he goes right back off. Shoulders are tricky. People don't understand. Once you dislocate that shoulder the first time, if you continue to do what he's doing, and Pope talked about that tonight, he said they had an emotional meeting. When you continue to hit that shoulder and bump, and especially in the SEC where the physicality is really tight, you could screw that shoulder up for permanent.
The thing of it is, John, is it keeps popping back out. The only true way to fix it where it won't happen is surgery. And I've been saying that since October, since the blue-white game. Pope said this is the third time. This is actually the fourth time that I can remember, because this is the third time it's happened, because counting the blue-white game and then 2 other games, and then it happened once in practice, 2. early after the season started. So, I mean, he has tried tremendously to stay on the court or at least be a part of the team. I've been saying on this show forever that there was no way that he was going to be able to start. All these people was talking about starting to be able to start and play starters minutes. I've been telling John since October that he's going to have to play like limited minutes. That's the only thing he would be able to do. And we see that he really can't even do that, John.
Nah, it's at the point now where you rest your shoulder up, you cheer on your teammates, you have surgery, and you hope that you get the medical waiver for next season.
So Pope says that the surgery and recovery and everything for this is likely going to be about 6 months, full recovery to be back to normal playing and not have this happen over and over again. So, John, I want to ask you, I mean, what's the likelihood you think he gets a medical red shirt?
It varies. You see some that get them, some that don't. It just all depends, I guess, on the situation, more or less.
So you have to be less than 30% of the season, I believe. And so. It just so happened he played 9 games, I think.
Yeah, somewhere 8, 9. I think it was 8.
Yeah, which I believe I would. From what I'm hearing, if he had played one more game, and it has to be regular season games, the postseason doesn't count, I don't believe, against that. I believe if he had played one more game, that he wouldn't be able to do that. For the way I understand
it's tough, Brad. You look at it from you kind of got to swing in there, Jasper Johnson. You got to hold on with Jasper Johnson and Denzel Aberdeen at your point, and you got to figure out how to make it happen. You got to figure out how to score. You got to figure out how to do what you did. That's
what I wanted to ask you about is, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was at the game on Saturday night, and after the game, of course, Lowe went out early in the game on Saturday night against Mississippi State. And after the game, Jasper was down by the court, and I actually talked to him briefly. And, we talked about like stepping up, and it was great. He had a good game, and I told him a good game, and he said thank you and everything. He's a really nice guy, young kid. And
I actually talked to him the Loyola Maryland game.
But I told him he had a good game, and I said, we may need you to step up. And he said, yes, sir. And all he didn't actually, but I kind of asked a couple of questions, and he was really nice about it, after the game on Saturday night. So I think he's, that he was already aware that he's likely going to have a larger role.
Yeah, he's going to have a bigger role. Aberdeen is going to be probably your primary ball handler. Jasper's probably going to come in and kind of set that off when he gets some minutes and when he needs a rest. Listen, Brad, what they did Saturday night, everybody's going to say, well, it was just Mississippi State. It was a sight for sore eyes. From an offensive standpoint, people don't know Mississippi State's last loss was on December 7th. I think they lost to San Francisco. And now they did look like the team from last year, where this year the points have not really been there for them. I feel like, Brad, it's just a matter of clicking together. I just feel like they haven't really had a game besides this Mississippi State game where they've really played with it.
Well, let's talk about Saturday night for just a few minutes. Because, again, John, they started off really, really slow.
They did. Got down 13.
The crowd was actually booing. It did not look good 6, 7 minutes into the game.
Well, Mississippi State hit 7 of their first 8 shots. Kentucky kind of was getting pummeled by the fans a little bit. There's a lot of displeasure. I feel like that they used a little bit of that frustration to kind of, get back in the lead and get back on tune.
John, you know what? I was there, and you know what really stuck out to me is when they come back out of the timeout there was a timeout and they were down by like 12 or 13, and they come back out of the timeout and they really kind of changed their pace.
They did.
They started trying to move the ball up the floor, fast break, get some quick buckets, spacing the floor better. And I think that's one thing that's been missing in this team.
You know where they won this game? In the paint. They had 54 points.
I think there's two key areas in this game for me, John. One, they had 21 assists in this game, which is they had 9 in the game before that they got beat at home. They had 21 in this game. And the second thing is there was 14 steals in this game.
And Pope kind of brought it out in the post game. He said we kind of went to a revamped spacing system. 21 assists, I believe, Brad, is the most they've had against a high major team.
This year, yeah.
This
season, yeah. I think so. And 14 steals in a game is a lot. I think it was the most since like 2007 or something like that.
I'm going to tell you who stepped up in a big way was Malachi Moreno. He literally owned that paint. And I'll tell you, Otega Owe, 22 points, 10 of 17, 5 assists, 5 steals. They're super talented, Brad. I told you this a couple of weeks ago. Me and you talked about this. This team is not that bad to be losing these type of games. There's talent on this floor.
The last 5 minutes of the game before, they looked like freshmen in high school, to be honest with you. I mean, they couldn't even make a pass.
I'll say this. Their challenge going forward is you can't do what you did against Mississippi State and then, go out here and lay an egg at LSU on Wednesday night. In fact, LSU is not a great basketball team. It's a winnable game on the road.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it is.
Got Tennessee Saturday, which is going to be tough. You got to stack good days together, and you got to just get to work, do your thing like you did Saturday night, and I think the rest will take care of itself because they had a lot of offensive efficiency Saturday night. The way they finished the game, putting the throttle down, putting them on the throat, they put the game away, and they just never looked back.
It was for sure, but where this game actually turned, in my opinion, was Kam Williams. Actually,
he's such a good player.
Moreno played really well, and he helped once the game started to turn. But in that first half, when they were down 12 or 13, it was Kam Williams that had like 9 out of 11 straight points at one point. In that first half, he wound up with 14 points. Had a bunch of steals, I think 4 steals of the 14.
Colin Chandler really well up there that gave him the lead at halftime. Now, Mississippi State, they shot 57% from the field. Moreno was playing really good basketball. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. I think he had a couple of steals. Now, after they come out of the halftime break, Mississippi State, they kind of knocked down some shots. Kentucky was able to counter. They hit a couple 3-pointers. And then Kentucky started kind of pushing the lead out. Aberdeen had a 3 from the corner. Mississippi State burned a timeout, which they had none left after the 10-minute mark. And that 12-point lead, I think, there was about 8-10 minutes to go, kind of put the game in reach. And they would pretty much run the clock out from there.
And for a change, they actually stepped on the gas. But
they did.
After this game, John, I got a chance to ask Kam Williams a couple of questions, and I want to play some of that for you guys.
Feeling great.
Cam, tonight in the second half, it was a little different story. You guys seemed to step on the gas. What was the difference tonight?
We got a great scout, great game plan because they're a great team, and we knew that they were the best defensive team so far in the conference. So that's a statistic.
Okay, did that play?
Yeah, it did.
Was it over? Because it just blanked for me. I couldn't even tell.
Over. It finished.
It did? All right. I couldn't even tell. It didn't even play for me. It just looked like a black screen. I couldn't tell if it played or not.
It played.
All right. So that was Cam. I got a chance to ask him a couple of things. And then this is in front of Lowe after his performance.
What changed, speaking of that, the first 5 minutes to the next 35 minutes, especially defensively? What kind of flipped there for you guys?
I feel like the past couple of games we've had the scout, but once we get to the game, kind of digressed away from the scout. So I think today, even me, I was being super vocal on pay attention to the scout. If we pay attention to the scout, we're gonna win the game. I feel like that's the reason why we do scouts, is to stop the other team from doing what they do best. So I think we did a really good job today, taking the scout from practice and bringing it to the game.
Mark said that you guys defensively with the scheme like held around
Yeah.
What was it that was different about it, and how effective was it?
All right. Those are just a couple of short clips.
Say this.
Talking.
The thing that really impressed me Saturday night was their ability to pass the ball around. They look for the open man. That, to me, is what has been missing from this team.
Well, they actually had to space the floor a little bit to do that as well, which was a lot better.
They had the play that Lowe was open, but he kind of threw it over in the corner to Aberdeen. He hit a three. They put up a 6-point lead. And from there, it kind of just felt like Kentucky just put the game on ice.
100%. I thought, look, I told people after the game, even media, we were sitting there kind of talking, and that actually felt like Kentucky basketball because, and I say that because of this, because Kentucky basketball, like there's teams that would hang with Kentucky for a half or 20 minutes or 30 minutes. But as the game goes along, most of the time over the history of Kentucky basketball, they start wearing you out and they kind of step on the gas and put you away. And that's what they did against Mississippi State.
I'll say this to go to our LSU game, and I'll kind of break up the Tennessee game. The LSU game is another one where you need to step on the throat. This is not a great LSU team. Let's just be honest. They're not. They're not a good
But
team.
it is a road game, and road games are a little more tough.
It's tough. It's on the road, but I feel like Brad, it's another winnable game like Missouri. You get a lead here, say 14, 15 points, put the game away, and then you go to Tennessee. You're 11-6. You got a chance to upset the Vols on the road. And let's be honest, Brad, Tennessee's not playing well right now.
They haven't looked great. I mean, Florida beat them, 24 points or something like that over the weekend?
19, 22, something like that. They're not playing great. They haven't looked. As a matter of fact, let me just go a step further. The SEC as a whole has not looked great.
No, they haven't. But, I mean, Tennessee – they got the Gillespie kid, and they got the Amick kid. And the Amick kid is really good, and he's going to be a top 10, top 5 pick in the draft. But they just don't have a whole lot to go with them to. What do you think?
They got the Gillespie kid. He's really, really good. The Amick kid, he's tough. Felix Okapara, I feel like he's not doing his job. Rick Barnes brought up a good point today. He's not getting rebounds. They're getting, out physical. Florida out physical this Tennessee team Saturday from start to finish. It was evident. Yeah. Tennessee is not the kind of team you just push around.
And let's be honest, we've been beating Tennessee down there in Knoxville, 4 straight years or something like that?
Yeah, it's something like that, yep.
I mean, this is a game that they could go in there. Now, we don't know if JQ is going to be back and playing. But, I'm not real sure on that end either. But Malachi Moreno is very capable of playing a game like he did the other night. Jasper Johnson stepped up. Even Yelovich come in the other night and played well. We got 2 road games this week where Kentucky is completely on the road. LSU is an absolute must win. LSU is still they're 0-3 in the conference. They do not have a win. We cannot go there and be their first win. If that happens, you might as well start thinking about not making the tournament, to be honest.
You got to win this game. This is one of those that it's kind of a gimme game, let's be honest, on the road. Then you got to go to Tennessee. Then you come home.
And possibly still a win.
And then you come home, and I think you play Texas, a team that beat Alabama on the road on Saturday. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of up and down. Texas, they looked bad a couple of weeks ago without at the Tennessee game on the road. Then they kind of go on the road and they beat Alabama. It kind of shows you the SEC's kind of,
well, it's so up and down. It's just up and down.
Look at Arkansas Saturday. Got blowed out by Auburn on the road. So anything's possible in the SEC, especially.
So we kind of touched on without Lowe, but I mean, we also have Jaden Quaintance that had some knee swelling and did not play in this Mississippi State game. Now we've got Lowe out the rest of the year.
I think you got to do what you did Saturday. I think you got to put Kam Williams in there. You got to put Jasper. You got to put Owe. Sometimes switch in and out with Brandon Garrison.
I'm going to be honest with you, John. I liked Kam Williams and Yelovich playing at the 4. You know why? Yeah. Because they can shoot the ball and they can stretch. It creates more space.
They can stretch the floor and they can space it out.
And then the other thing that I liked that they did the other day is Moreno's probably the best passing big guy that we got. He had 6 assists.
I'm going to tell you, the kid can flat play. He's got talent.
Moreno. I think it's Moreno.
I watched him at Great Crossing. He's got talent. He's really, really good. Didn't he break the rebound record at Great Crossing, if I'm not mistaken? I believe he did.
Yes.
He was really
what's
good
wrong
there.
with Noah? He has some kind of leg problem.
Yeah,
I was there the other night.
Some issues there, but
he has some kind of leg problem going on.
He hasn't played. Let's be honest. He hasn't played much at all.
In like 3.5 games or something.
No.
Yeah. So I know he had some kind of leg problem the other night. I do know that.
He did.
All right. So I'm going to switch this up, man, and we're going to get to the women. We're going to get to the women, man. Yesterday, the women had a big time win, to be honest with you, at home. Had to overcome just like the guys did. They got down early in this game, John, and Oklahoma just really tried to out-muscle and out-physical this Kentucky team yesterday.
Listen, you can say what you want to, but this Kentucky team is tough as nails. They got down 24-11. A lot of people thought, well, here goes another game where without Key, they're going to struggle.
Shooting, by the way, they were 4 of 21 when they were down 24-11 from the field.
Yeah. And you thought, well, here we go, another game like Alabama. We're going to kind of have to fight our way back into this game. Tony Morgan played good. I thought Kara Strack had another double-double. She played really, really well. This is a really good –
She struggled in the first half.
Kentucky
I thought she played well in the second.
Top 5 wins, Brad. They've rose in the polls. Now, Kentucky, you want to –
Actually, John, speaking of that 2 top 5 wins, this is the first time in Kentucky women's basketball history in the regular season that they have 2 top 5 wins.
Well, and now you got Florida and Mississippi State coming up, which are not great teams. Let's be honest.
Florida's at home. Mississippi State is on the road now.
It's on the road. But I'm going to say something that's not going to sit right with a lot of folks. And you know where I'm going with this. Kentucky went on the road last week and beat a top 5 LSU team, right?
in Baton Rouge.
LSU beat a good, talented Texas team on the road.
No.
Guess what?
LSU was at home.
But guess what? Kentucky went to LSU and knocked them off on a last-second shot. And today, the polls came out, and LSU was 6th and Kentucky was 7th. Tell me, does head-to-head even matter anymore, Brett?
Well, all right. Here's my issue, okay? LSU lost 2 in a row to Kentucky and Vandy and dropped all the way down to 12. They dropped from 5 to 12, okay? They beat Georgia and Texas, which is a very good win. It was the first time they've lost this year, but it was at home, and they just jumped right back up there. They were 12. Kentucky was 6. Kentucky just beat a top 5 team yesterday, too. And somehow or another, you're going to jump LSU 6 spots when Kentucky just beat them in their house? Like, come on, AP voters. Like, that's ridiculous. Oh, by the way, I'll give you a couple of other numbers. Kentucky has 4 top 25 wins. LSU has 3.
4.
Kentucky has 2 top 5 wins. LSU has 1. The quad 1 wins is 4-2 Kentucky and 3-2 LSU. So please tell me, and they beat them in Baton Rouge, how the hell is LSU ahead of Kentucky in the poll?
You know, that's what gets me about the men's side, okay? I'm going to kind of bring this on the men's side, okay? Vanderbilt was ranked 10th this week, okay? I think it was 10th. Was it 10th?
What's up, Bill?
Did Vanderbilt get put 10th this week? I think it was 10th.
Yeah.
Nebraska was 8th, okay? Nebraska has some of the best wins in the country. They beat Illinois. They beat a good Ohio State team. If Kentucky had Nebraska's logo sitting next to it, I rest my case. Kentucky would be number 5 or number 4, but Nebraska's number 8. Why are we doing the polls if you knock off 2 or 3 5 top teams, but the head-to-head don't matter, and then you beat some of those teams pretty handily?
I just think it's ridiculous. Like, it was just last week Kentucky went there and beat them in Baton Rouge. They're 2-2 in the SEC. Kentucky's 3-1. Kentucky beat them. I mean, they have the same record. Like, on what planet are they ahead of Kentucky? Honestly. And if you're a voter and you're doing that, you're absolutely 1,000% in the wrong. There's just no other way around it that you could put LSU above Kentucky. I mean, maybe you should watch basketball last week. I'm not sure. Honestly. Now, that was my rant on the poll this week, and I've been talking about it online all day. I've been messing with LSU fans on threads all day long, to be quite honest with you. Now, John, yesterday, I want to get to something about Oklahoma. I want to ask you a real question. Do they play physical or they play dirty?
I mean,
it's a real question.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Because I'm here to tell you, yesterday, for a women's game, it was about one of the most physical games. They were getting punched in the stomach. They were getting grabbed. They were getting slapped. They were getting shoved. They were getting, it was absolutely ridiculous, to be honest with you. And on your home floor, to have officials allow that kind of stuff is really a little bit damn ridiculous. And I was so super proud of the girls from just overcoming all of that. I cannot tell you how many times Tony Morgan hit the floor and had to take a minute to get up.
You know
Like,
what was huge in this game?
Probably, John, she probably hit the floor like that 8 or 10 times.
You know what was huge in this game to me?
What was that?
Was them holding Oklahoma 4 minutes, the last 4 minutes scoreless.
John, if I'm not mistaken, they only scored 23 points the whole second half.
Yep. Impressive. You know, they have 3 top 25 wins in at Louisville and LSU.
4 now.
4 now beating Oklahoma.
Yeah.
This is a really good girls team. And I'm going to tell you something, Brad. If you do not want to watch UK men's basketball, if you don't want to watch these other things happening around the Commonwealth, go to one of these girls' games. They're packing them out.
It was pretty much a full house. It was right at 6,000 people. There was a little bit less than a full house yesterday, but pretty close. There was 6,000 people there. It was a great atmosphere, cheering on the girls. John, they are playing without one of their top players, top 2 or 3 players. I mean, you got Strack, Tony Morgan, and Tiani Key. She's still out with a dislocated elbow, and we don't know how that's going to go.
She's important.
And she is an important piece to this team, and hopefully it doesn't happen like Lowe and keep popping out.
KK, to me, is playing really good.
But I wanted to ask you about KK. She didn't score a ton of points yesterday, but she did not back down from them. She had to battle down low with them yesterday. She held her own defensive. She blocked a shot or 2. She hit a 3. She had another layup. I think she had 5 points. And what was impressive to me, John, is that she stood her ground.
She brings her lunch pail.
Yeah.
She don't do everything that, say, Clara Strack does or Tiani Key does, but she does enough to make a difference in the game. She's resilient. She's a hard worker. She hit some threes, I think, in a couple of games last week that made a difference in the game. Listen, and to add to that, the leadership on this team, especially Tony Morgan, she's a big leader in this team. KK is kind of filling into that void, and now she's going to have some kind of little bit of some playing time now that Key's kind of out. She's going to get her chance to kind of shine a little bit. And to me, Brad, I just say it over and over and over. The girls' team is tough as nails. They bring their lunch pail every single day to work. They've talked about it all summer long that they want to win the SEC. Just the way that Kenny Brooks has established this group and the way he is recruiting is pretty impressive and top-notch.
Speaking of Kenny Brooks, I've got a little clip here. This is the post-game press conference yesterday. Got a little clip here to show you guys.
In this job, they're the fastest team in the country. They get the ball up and down the floor. They have the most possessions. And it took us a little while to figure out that they were really going to be that aggressive. And then once we settled in, then it became a very physical basketball game. The way our kids just really were resilient throughout the whole basketball game. And so very excited, had tremendous performances. I thought Tony was great all night. Clara was tremendous, handling the physicality. Jordan was really big. We put the assignment of her guarding Deer so that Clara could kind of stay free and do some stuff on the offensive end. And then Jordan came up with huge rebounds down the stretch to give us extra possession. So total team effort, very proud of them. I think they start class tomorrow. They'll have some rest for the next couple of days, and then we'll get ready for Florida on Thursday.
I think he forgot who the team was.
He did, I believe, at the end. Yeah.
At this point, he's looking at the next game. Like he's looking at what is in front of him, and I think that's great to have as a head coach.
Yeah, man. I just listen. You could hear it in Kenny's voice how proud he was of the girls. For fighting through all that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You agree with that?
I agree with you, Bill. I do. They got to get healthy, though. They got to get Key back. They got to
Keon's got to get healthy and got to get back at some point here if they're going to make a run to the Final Four. But I will say this, Bill, they're 16-2. They're number 7 this week. Really should have been above LSU in my 100% opinion here. They were 6 last week. Did they deserve to fall back a game? Sure. I just don't think LSU deserved to jump in front of them, to be quite honest with you. So 7 or 8 was about the right spot. I just don't think LSU deserved to be in front of them.
The fact that you got people stirred up on threads just makes me laugh.
I did. LSU fans all day long. We've been having chats back and forth. All right, John. I do want to ask you. We're going to talk a little bit about the next this week for the Kentucky girls.
Winnable game, I think
they play Florida on Thursday night at home. You got Liv McGill and a couple of players on that Florida team that are really good. Liv McGill's averaging like 23, 24 points a game, something like that. A really quick guard. She's a tough as nails guard. And then you go on the road to Mississippi State on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, it's a winnable game against Florida. They got a couple guards that are good. Mississippi State, to me, has been,
Layla Reynolds.
I know they got whipped the other night, I think, but
they did.
They have improved. They've improved a ton. But
yeah, I mean,
you go on the road, you look at it from another aspect with the Alabama game, for instance. They was unranked, which they ended up getting in the polls this week. You can't let your guard down on the road in the SEC.
No, not at all. You got to be ready to play, and you got to be ready to shoot, and you can't have a bunch. The Alabama game, Morgan just didn't play well. She had 5 or 6 turnovers. We had 20 turnovers in that game. You can't do that.
No, you just can't. You can't do it.
So if they can hold their own this week, this would be a big week for the girls to maybe, get a little breathing room at the top. There's still Vanderbilt is still undefeated. Tennessee is still undefeated, and South Carolina is still undefeated.
Michaela Blake is playing at a pace.
There's 3 teams that are still undefeated, and then there's a bunch of teams sitting at 3-1.
I will say this about LSU. The way they was connected Sunday against the Longhorns, that's the type of LSU team.
I'm not taking anything away from it. LSU's got a lot of good guards and good players.
That's the LSU team we didn't get.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just stating that all the numbers, quad 1 wins, top 25 wins, top 5 wins.
Yeah, I agree with you.
When you look at all the numbers, it's Kentucky, not LSU. I'm sorry.
I agree with you.
I mean, it's just that simple, to be honest with you. All right. I am going to move away from basketball. So I'm going to put up our football thing here with Kroger Field here in the background, John. We've got a lot really to get to with what Will Stein's doing in football, to be honest with you. John's been following this quite a bit, to be honest with you. He wrote an article this morning. You can look it up on stadiumrant.com, and we'll discuss a little bit more here. But, John, let's talk about the big weekend of commitments that Kentucky's had.
Will Stein is an absolute madman. He goes from
mad scientist.
He goes from the offensive coordinator from Oregon Friday.
It's alive.
To 24 hours later, probably picked up one of the top linebackers in the country that was a 5-star coming out of high school. That wasn't even the best thing. There was a lot of talk that C.J. Baxter was going to go to Indiana.
Yeah.
That flipped, and he got a pledge from Baxter.
And oh, by the way, Indiana's playing for a national championship.
A
So
former Texas running back, was the top-ranked player at his position in the cycle on 24/7 and on through.
and the linebacker was a former Texas linebacker as well.
Elijah Barnes. That ain't and maybe that ain't even the best one. You got Lance Hurd, the number 2 offensive tackle in the portal from Tennessee,
Who was a 5-star. He was the number 16 overall in the class.
Well, and then you got the Mark Robinson kid from UTEP that we beat out Texas Tech. We beat out Oil Money, Brad.
Yeah, this is true.
And we got Elijah Barnes, like you said. We picked up a DB from Missouri, Mark Manfred III. We got a commitment from J. Caden Ferguson from Arkansas, which he was a former UK commit at one time.
Yeah.
They picked up a kicker from UCF. Not sure who exactly that was, but I know they got Cyrus Reyes from Mississippi State. He was a safety. Dominic.
They got a long snapper, which are positions that you need.
Listen, this is unheard of in Lexington. Today, Tegra,
yeah.
I mean, he's going to have 1 year left.
2-year starter for the Ohio State University.
Pick Kentucky over Auburn and Ole Miss.
John, he started 29 straight games for the Ohio State University. And, oh, by the way, in 29 starts, he's only given up 1 sack.
Listen, Brad, I'm going to tell you something. He's enormous.
Yeah.
He's 6'6", 325-pound frame.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how many dudes we're going to have on this front? Like Colton Price, Tegra, Lance Hurd. This might be the best offensive line. I hate to say
I'll get to that because, John, I'll be honest with you. We lost everybody off the line. Like, there was nobody, okay? Like, not any of the starters, okay? Like, we had a few that possibly, Malachi Wood, a couple, that maybe could have started, all right? The Evan Wibberly or whatever his name is. There's a couple there, all right? But the offensive line was in dire need. And, John, I just got to talk about this. We have 2 of the top 4 and 3 of the top, 8 in the portal pickups.
Yeah. And this is not to mention the 20. I want to kind of bring this in, the 27 class. They're looking at the offensive lineman from Pulaski, Brady Hull. He's a 6'1", 285 interior offensive lineman, really, really good. Then they're looking at Dylan Berryman. He's locked in a visit with Kentucky, I think, the 16th, I think. And he's got Nebraska. I think he's already been to Nebraska. That was another one. He's 211th nationally. He's a top 10 prospect from Louisiana. UK offered him right before Christmas and kind of ramped it up. Listen, Kentucky we're going to be in the mix, Brad. I'm going to come back to this offensive line thing. We're going to be in the mix for some talent that we have never, ever saw in Lexington.
Well, I mean, John, in the SEC, everyone knows that if you don't have an absolute stellar, solid offensive line, you're going to struggle.
You are.
I mean, you're going to struggle. That's just all there is to it. And these guys are top-notch, some of them 5-star, high 4-star guys. We got the top center from Baylor to go with that we haven't mentioned that is with these guys. We got a starter from Alabama's offensive line that was a 4-star guy. Like, these pickups on this offensive line, John, the potential here for this offensive line unit is really off the charts.
Let's be honest, Brad. They really could be probably one of the best in the SEC.
The potential's there if they can gel.
I mean, you got Baxter in the backfield. You got Kenny Minchie at quarterback. You got a plug-and-play guy in Javonte Barnes. You got Jason Patterson back, which he signed back today.
He did.
You know, they had the linebacker come back, Grant Guyton. He was a big part of that team. And I kind of want to jump over to just real quick about – you was talking about Elijah Barnes. Really strong off-the-ball linebacker, Brad. He's got a lot of IQ, physicality. He's really got a lot of speed. He knows how to control gaps. He's very polished, I think. He's a game changer, Brad. I watched the Michigan game, and his ability to go sideline to sideline, I've never seen that in Lexington, ever.
I mean, Kentucky's had some good
I'm
linebackers.
talking about the speed. Like, this is like talent that you see on Texas, Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia.
Yeah.
You're going to be looking at players on this field that mold those kind of guys. It's going to be hard to believe when you watch it in person.
I mean, D Square was pretty good recently as a linebacker in the middle.
He was.
But let's be honest, man. We're picking up some former 5-star recruits here out of the portal. Now, they're not 5 stars in the portal. I'm talking about in their own class, whether that was the 23 class, CJ Baxter.
He went back and he, early in the National Signing Day, December, he flipped Kenny Darby from LSU, the wide receiver. It's not over yet, Bill. We still got.
But I will be honest with you, Bill. They're getting to the point where they're going to run out of scholarships, so there's not too many more they can pick up.
No, they're going to have to ride with what they got.
There might be 5 more spots or something like that. 5, 6 more spots,
maybe 3 or 4, maybe at the
most. I mean, at the most.
Well, I will say this: they're going to have. I know everybody's kind of worried about the skill position players. Now, we're in on DeAndre Moore Jr. from Texas. I don't know where his mind is at right now, Brett. We had talked about this a little bit before the show. This has been dragging on since the portal opened. Let's be honest. He went to Kentucky. He had a visit, went to Ole Miss. It felt like it was between Kentucky and Ole Miss. He went to Ohio State. A lot of people thought he was going between us and Ohio State. Then he goes out to see Prime. There was a lot of buzz with Prime this morning that he was going to come go out there to Colorado. Now the information is coming out that they're waiting on him, that maybe CJ Baxter's having a part in this, him trying to get him to come here. Listen, Colorado has 6. I looked at the depth chart. I don't – it might not be 6. It might be 5. 5 or so receivers coming back, okay? A few in the portal, a few from freshmen. Would you rather go somewhere like that and be just another guy, or would you like to be a guy that would be shown off in the offense as a wide receiver 1?
In the SEC, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense to Colorado here, but I mean, come on. And I got to say something here, okay? Today is day number 11, all right? Moore showed up to Kentucky the very first day for a visit, all right? Today was day number 11. So far, nothing's been announced. Everybody's still waiting on this kid. I have an issue with it. Like, I don't have the patience for that. Like, I don't know what he's waiting on. I don't know. He has visited Kentucky. He's visited Ohio State. He's visited Louisville. He's visited Colorado. He's visited Ole Miss. I mean, at what point do you make a damn decision? I mean,
I get you.
I don't understand, and I'll be honest with you. If it was me, John, wait a minute. If it was me, John, I'd start rescinding some of my money. I'm not waiting on a kid for 2 weeks. I'm not doing it. It's just ridiculous.
Here's the thing. You wait on somebody like Moore, which let's be honest, he's a good talent.
He's a former 5-star player. He's a great talent. I get it.
But what if you miss on him and you miss out on a guy like Darryl Gill, the one from Syracuse?
In the meantime, go look at the big board for wide receivers. Most of them are off the board because we've been waiting on DeAndre Moore.
And to be honest, we might even still get him at this point. But the thing here's my thing about this whole stuff. We had talked about this last week. They need to cut the visits down to 2 or 3 visits. And after that,
I think they should, in the transfer portal, they need to put a limit on the visits. It has to be 3 to 4 visits at the most. It could be 3 or 4. I think 2 is not enough, but 3 or 4 visits at the max. And that's all you get. You can't sit there and just keep, Levitt's done it. Simmons has done it. Moore's done it. They go to one school and they'd be like, well, they offered me this. And then they go to the next school. Well, they offered me this. And they just keep jacking up the price and driving it up. And it's actually ridiculous.
Say, for instance, you're going to Kentucky. Well, let me look at it from a Levitt standpoint. Say Kentucky said, we're going to give you $3 million, right? Well, you go to LSU, they're going to say, well, I'm going to give you 3.2, 3.3. Well, if you leave there, you're going to Tennessee. Well, I'm going to give you 3.5, 3.7. Yeah. Then you go to Miami. It's like, I'm just going to throw $4 million at you. Like,
I'm going to go $4 million. And then you go back. Then you go back to LSU. Then you go back to Tennessee. All you're doing is driving the price up. There has to be some kind of limit on this. It's ridiculous.
A happy medium in the middle somewhere. And to be honest, Levitt did announce today that he was going tonight, that he is going to LSU.
Finally, day 11 again. Day 11, Simmons.
I laugh about it. I joke about it, but I felt like I was watching a Michael Jackson tour of Eastern Europe. He went from Kentucky to LSU, back to Tennessee. Lane Kiffin left in the middle of the night to see him in Knoxville.
Yeah,
back to Miami and back to LSU. Like, what are we doing, Brad?
Imagine. So Kiffin done something else in the middle of the night at Tennessee. Seems like I remember that something like that before.
I think he kind of ran off.
I'm sorry, I had to bring that one up.
Yeah, pretty funny.
But anyways, for real, there's some issues there going on, I believe. Now, John, let's talk about potential to land. Of course, DeAndre Moore is definitely one of them. I would throw out Darryl Gill from Syracuse as a possible guy there that we could go after.
Elon wide receiver is pretty decent. The one that took a visit, about a week or so ago with the quarterback from Elon that went to LSU. I feel like he's a good piece.
Yeah.
A lot of the big wide receivers.
What other pieces do you think this team might need? Do we need an edge?
Yeah, probably need another edge rusher. Probably you might need another defensive lineman just for, some depth.
Well, an edge is a defensive lineman, but
basically,
kind of.
Maybe another linebacker. We're linebackers are pretty set.
Yeah, I think an edge wide receiver.
I think you need another tight end.
Well, you got Henry Boyer. You got
Willie Rodriguez,
Willie Rodriguez.
And I'm going to tell you something about that. He actually, we didn't get to talk about this. He announced that he was coming back. He is going to thrive.
So did Mikel Skinner.
He's going to thrive. I'm telling you. The kid had an amazing year this year. It's untelling what he'll do when Will Stein gets a hold of him.
Well, the offense, he throws a lot to his tight end. So we're going to see these tight ends put some good seasons together here.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be nice. There's going to be a lot more excitement, Brad, than it than it was a year ago.
With all this said, and talking about the excitement of this class, and I do, before I get to that, I do want to bring up that just about 2 hours ago, Kentucky had the 6th top-ranked class in the country in the transfer portal, and like the 3rd or something in the SEC, 3rd or 4th in the SEC.
And they picked up the punter today from Murray State, O'Hara.
Yeah,
one of the best punters.
An Aussie punter. Yeah,
one of the best punters in the country too. And
yeah, he's an Aussie punter. So Max Duffy was pretty happy because he's an Aussie hunter, Aussie punter,
Aussie.
Yeah. All right. So with that said, and all the pieces that Stein is getting here, and the pieces that are returning, what's your expectations going forward?
I think the fans are going to have to give them time to kind of develop into it's going to take a couple games.
Here's the thing, John. I think they're going to talk about big goals.
Well, yeah, of course. First-year coach, there's a lot of excitement. Josh Pate dropped something today I thought was pretty funny. He said that he wouldn't expect nothing less than Will Stein being in the college football playoff next year. I thought that was pretty funny. I was like, yeah, had a lot of fans going, had a lot of Tennessee fans acting up, a lot of different fan bases. Like, there's a lot of publicity with this Kentucky football team, and there's a lot of people that don't like it.
Yeah.
They don't like it.
Look, Tennessee's doing some stuff on the defensive side of the ball. I'll give them that. Look, I'm not afraid to tell people when people are improving or doing something.
Do you know what bothers me the most is me and you talked about this last week, or when Lance Hurd when he committed. He committed to Kentucky, okay? The moment he committed, they said, well, that's the next Mincy. He'll be in the concession stands. Or the Tegra guy had only given up 1 sack in 2 years.
At Ohio
State fans saying he's a liability.
I mean,
every time a player
one of the better guards inside offensive linemen in the country.
That's what frustrates me. And it's not just Kentucky, but every time a player that goes somewhere else and that has done good, there's somebody in the comments that has something to say. That they was not great, or they didn't do any good enough, or they didn't run block, they didn't pass block, they didn't do this. Well, maybe, just maybe, they wanted out of that bad situation and they want to improve their game, and you couldn't see what they was building at that certain school.
Well, I mean, John, a whole lot of it anymore is about money. Let's be honest. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're in a bad situation.
Well, look at Lance Hurd. He was one of the best run grades.
I mean, maybe Tennessee hasn't paid him much the last 2 years. Maybe he's making a couple of $100,000 or
he had a good run grade
or something.
Look at Tegra, had a good run grade, and he's a liability. Well,
yeah, but what I'm telling you is in reality, maybe they haven't been making gobs of money, and they realize they can get in the portal and get a $2 million offer or a $2.5 million offer.
I will say this: they paid top price for Tegra and Hurd.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'll tell you that right now.
I know they did.
You know who we beat Tegra out for? Auburn and Ole Miss. You had Auburn fans on X saying, when was the last time that we got slockered by the University of Kentucky?
Yeah. I mean,
you got Will Stein lockering people. He everybody's talking about this whole new locker thing where he lockered Sig the other night. Signetti getting the Indiana. I mean, come on now. Like, I have a little fun with it on social media. You do too, but it's kind of neat to kind of do that kind of thing. But
all right. So I asked you, well, let's get back to this. What's your expectations? I mean, do you think the schedule's tough?
tough.
But I mean, let me ask you, what do you expect to see from Mincy?
I tell you what, I like his range. I like the way he moves outside the pocket. I like how he runs on the go and throws on the go. He's very mobile in the pocket.
Kenny Minchie has not been a starter.
He's not. But in the games that you've seen in some of the highlight films, there's a lot of potential there. You add C.J. Baxter to that backfield. If C.J. Baxter can get back to 23, C.J. Baxter, and that's going to be a tough cookie because he's not been healthy. But you get him back to where he needs to be, this could be an explosive offense, Brad. Because, they play Youngstown State first, which they should have been a win. They go on the road. No, they play Alabama, I'm sorry. Then they go on the road and they play A&M. They play South Alabama, play South Carolina. They play Vanderbilt, which Vanderbilt will probably improve too. But I think they'll go down a little bit since Diego Pavia's kind of out the door now.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
They lost one of their best receivers, Richardson to Lowe. They lost Stowers to the pros. The tight end. Then you got a game against, I think, was it Florida, which will be much improved with John Sumrall.
At home.
At home. And then you got, I think it's Oklahoma on the road, which is another tough game. They've improved in the portal.
Yeah.
Homecoming party for Barnes. He'll be going back home, which will be kind of nice. I think that's pretty – I like this portal thing where you go somewhere, then you play that the next year you play at that team that you left with. And then you got Louisville, which is – listen, I know everybody wants to, cut up about Louisville, all this stuff, but they have a pretty decent class. Let's be honest.
They do.
I mean, I'm not saying it's like over the top, but it's a really good class. And then you've got –
I'm just a tad bit annoyed at a guy by the name of Vince Morrow.
Yeah, I'm with you, Brad. It's childish.
I mean, at some point, man, get over it. Like, you're a grown man. Like, move on. Just find the best players. You don't have to sleep on the park bench in Lexington on campus somewhere. Like, you're a grown man. You can, just go after good players.
Well, what bothers me is tonight he said something. No, I tell you what it was. Pete Nocton was the general manager. He's part general manager at Louisville.
Yeah, he made a statement on that.
He retweeted something that Moreno said. Well, Moreno said he called him Little Pete. Come on now. And then he was like, I've been beating him for years. Like, what? Like, how childish is that? And then you had him, I think it was right before Christmas. It might have been before then, when he said, hello, Nick Roush.
My thing is, man, just go after the players. Don't be sitting there sniffing in Lexington the whole time and just trying, can you just be a grown man? That's what I want to say. Honestly, I'm 51 years old. I have no problem telling a guy like him that he needs to be a grown man, for real. I have no problem with it.
Yeah, it's a little childish, Brad, to be honest. I mean, you see him on there. He's retweeting stuff. Then you got the Vince Moron parody page. That's taken off. And oh, my goodness. Oh. I will say this. The rivalry's back. Let's put
that's
it
for sure. Will Stein and everything that's going on. Yes, I get it. The rivalry is back. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
My expectations. I want to get to that before we close this out, man.
I will say this, Brett. I think there's a real possibility that this team could be a bowl team, depending on what they get at the skill position. I still think they need to get more. I think more. You get more. You just slide a bunch of guys in there and just go to work.
Yeah, I think so too. If you can get more, man, this is. Honestly. like, it would not surprise me if we don't have a top 20 offense in the country next year. I mean, just throwing some numbers out here, just right off the top of my head.
Defense would be better. Defense would be most
The
improved.
defense will be better. I'm not sure that we have all the pieces that we will have a couple of years down the road on the defensive side of the ball, but I think our defense will definitely be better. We've done pretty well with linebackers and a middle defensive line with Bro from LSU.
We've kind of been hitting on some safeties lately.
Some safeties. They've done a pretty decent job on the defensive side of the ball. So I think it'll be better. You've got the Florida guys, the safeties and stuff there. So I think they're definitely going to be better on the defensive side of the ball. I think the offense, if you get more, I think the offense might be a top 20 offense in the country next year.
Well, from people I talk to, they're looking to get one more stud player, and that's probably going to be a wide receiver. Let's be honest. They're not looking for no O-line again. They might get some pieces here and there, but they're looking for one.
There's not a lot of positions left to fill, to be honest.
Unless you have one that you've really talked about and he hits the portal. Let's be honest.
Right. But I'm just saying, if the roster stays where it is, there's not a lot of positions left to fill. And if you get a guy like Moore or Darryl Gill, I think this offense could be a top 20 offense in the country next year. I'm with the schedule we have. Right now, I'm going to say bottom 6-6, top 8-4.
Mm-hmm. I will say this, I know fans are not going to like this, and there's going to be some that's going to pump, but there's going to be a lot of noise pumping Kentucky up this summer.
Yeah,
just get ready for it.
There probably will be.
I hope it don't.
It should be fun. Like, honestly, we should enjoy it. Hopefully, it'll be fun.
I'll say this too, Brad.
And not pumping us up in a way to where everybody's head's in the clouds. Just have some fun.
I get what you're saying. Here's my thing that I'm going to be happy about. I'm going to get to see a forward pass.
I just want to see some different routes.
Maybe a touchdown.
I want to see some different routes, John. Like, it seemed like we ran the same 3 routes all the time.
Yep, every time.
That's what we hit on. Was like the same routes
where they would stop, they would go, and then they would stop, and they wouldn't go, they wouldn't move around. Boley was just standing back there. That's a reason why a lot of times Boley would get sacked or he would get run out of the pocket, because a lot of our guys just gave up on the play.
Yeah.
Now I'll take that back. There was only one probably receiver that done probably as good as anybody, and that was Kendrick Lowe.
Yeah, Kendrick Lowe.
He played hard as anybody. So
yeah, I mean he was a good one to come in from Alabama. So, Kentucky had some pieces. I mean, let's be honest, there was some 4-star talent that left in the portal.
Cam Miller was one.
Yeah, I mean, Hartley Gilmore. You had the Smith twins. You had E.J. Waller. You had Cutter Boley. I mean, there was some 4-star talent that left.
I'll say this about the Hartley Gilmore thing. Somebody, and I don't mean this mean, I'm saying this out of love, but somebody in his circle needs to figure things out. He went to Kentucky, left there, went to Nebraska, decommitted there, went to Louisville.
Come back to Kentucky. Come back to Kentucky. Committed back to Louisville. Committed to Louisville.
Baylor.
Baylor. Yeah.
There needs to be some headway there. Like,
he's got some talent.
He does, and that's the thing. Like, there was a couple games this year where if Gilmore don't make a couple of those plays, we probably, we don't score in some of those games.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some talent.
So.
All right, John, we're going to wrap this up. This has been Wildcat Weekly.
By the way, I love Hartley Gilmore. I think he's a good athlete. I think he can do really good things. And I think where he's at Baylor, with DJ Lagway possibly going there, I think that's a really good fit for him.
John, I will say this, man. If we wait another whole week, like there's no telling what the roster and everything, all the changes is going to happen on the football side of things. Lord have mercy. There ain't no telling.
This. Today, I was going to read you this. I don't know if I saved it in a picture or whatnot, but I think I did.
Do we get any Oregon guys that join us?
It's possible. But here's what I wanted to show you. We got the number 1 offensive tackle in 24/7, okay?
Yeah.
We got the number 2 interior offensive lineman in Colton Price, okay?
Yeah.
It says here we got the number 3 quarterback, Kenny Minchie. That's 24/7, though. On 3, I think he's 10, maybe 10 or 11. And then we got Tegra. He's number 4 interior lineman, and he come from Ohio State.
Yeah.
The big blue wall is fixing to be
You got a top 10 running back in Baxter out of the portal.
Yep.
Like the list goes
Everybody
on.
was saying, I kept hearing all year.
A top 10 linebacker with Bo Barnes, Elijah Barnes.
Well, and I heard all year, the last 2 years, Brad, when are we ever going to get the big blue wall back? Well, let's be honest, Brad. When John Schwarman passed, God rest his soul, I love the man. I thought he was one of the best offensive line coaches in America. He knew how to get them to play together.
Yeah.
And when he passed, it seemed like it just went downhill. And
it hasn't been quite the same, no.
It hasn't been the same. But I think Cutter Leftwich is going to bring that mentality that he had at Oregon, and he's going to bring that to Kentucky, and he's going to make a change with it. And I think it's going to be a good thing.
Well, the pieces are there, but you got to put them together, and you got to play well. You got to make good decisions. So
you can recruit all these guys.
Part of it.
I tell people all the time, you can recruit all these guys, but until you see the results on the field, it's just a bunch of noise and paperwork.
All right, guys. We are a week from tonight. We actually will not be doing this show. We might talk about some Kentucky stuff while we're on, but we're going to be doing a live show that night with the national championship game, the college football national championship game.
So I got a question. Are we going to do the big fuss this week, or are we just going to do that Monday night?
Well, we're going to do that on Monday night next week. We are going to do one more show this week. It's probably going to be
Wednesday.
Or Thursday or something. Yeah. It'll at least be Wednesday that we will do the show.
When's the girls play this week?
They play Thursday night.
Are you going to the Florida game?
No, Eric's covering it for me.
Oh, is he? Okay. Well, by the way, I just want to give him his flowers. If you haven't seen, Eric posted pictures of the Missouri and Oklahoma game, some really good pictures. So go on his bird's eye view and go check it out.
Yep. He's been helping me with the girls, and he's going back to the Florida game on Thursday.
I think I'm due to go to the Ole Miss game, the 24th, I think?
Yeah, on the men's side, yeah.
On the men's, it's a Saturday game at noon. So,
well, I mean, if we get approved, we got to get approved for that.
If we get approved, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Travis Perry will be back in town, y'all.
Huh. All right, y'all. This has been Wildcat Weekly. We hope you enjoyed our show. We will see you later this week. We will do our championship game day picks and talk about the championship game later this week and do some college basketball picks. So y'all have a good one, and we will see you later in the week.
Have a good one.